In this Masters of the Air Episode 7 clip, we see P-51 Mustangs escorting B-17 bombers from the 100th Bombardment Group about to attack a ball bearing factory near Berlin. The intent of this video is to review the portrayal and address, did the series depiction reflect the events as they occurred? Let's take the escort scenes as they occurred chronologically. This is a mission where Rosie completed his 25 credited sorties tour duty. The entire 3-minute clip has been released to the public by the YouTube Apple TV channel.
Our chances of defeating the Luftwaffe were increased by the introduction of the P-51 Mustang.
The P-51 Mustang was more than a match for the German bomber interceptors, given its end-of-war air-to-air kill ratio of 8-to-1 or 11-to-1, depending on the source.
Hands down, the best fighter plane of the war.
The debate is still raging between the P-51 Mustang or the P-47 Thunderbolt. This page from a declassified June 1945 Headquarters 20th Air Force's weekly newsletter shed some light on an evaluation between the P-47N and the P-51H models to be adopted in the future Pacific Theater. It depends on the roles. The combat radius of action between the P-47N and P-51H models is essentially the same. Combat effectiveness is based on the type of combat engagement. The P-47 is best for attacking ground targets due to its rugged construction and ability to take damage. The P-51 is best suited for air-to-air combat based on pilot experiences. This theme is echoed on this page from a 1945 Army Air Forces board document titled 8th Air Force Tactical Development. The P-51 was no question the best escort, but the P-47 had the ability to absorb damage and unleash more firepower, made it feared by the Germans during both escort and strafing roles. I answer this question to museum visitors by stating the P-51 was the best for escort, but I lean towards the P-47 as the best all-around fighter.
Escorted by the Mustangs for the entire mission, the odds were starting to shift in our favor.
Let's check this statement for accuracy. This graph outlines the number of 8th Air Force's operational fighters by month. The x-axis is a month and year. The y-axis is the number of operational fighters. The columns in the body of the chart represent P-47s, P-38s, and P-51s. Operational P-51s appeared in February 1944. There were 153 operational P-51s in March 1944, the month of the mission in the clip. Although Mustangs get all the love, remember that Thunderbolts and Lightnings are very, very frightening. This March 9, 1944 post-mission USS ATF Daily Operations Summary page provides an abstract of the March 8, 1944 mission. 411 B-17s and 209 B-24s were sent to attack the VKF Ball Bearing Works 16 miles southeast of Berlin. The bombers were escorted by 612 P-47s, 184 P-51s, and 80 P-38s, or a total of 876 escorts. Some of the escorts flew multiple legs, so the total is higher than the actual number of planes participating. P-51s represent 21% of the escorting fighters, not 100%. 29 B-17s and 9 B-24s were lost during this mission. One of the 29 B-17s lost was from the 100th, as shown on this March 1944 100th Bomb Group statistical summary chart. The fighters did not have the range to stay with the bombers the entire mission. Fighter range is reduced as they need to weave to maintain their position over the bomber formations. Weaving reduces their range. Escorts adopted a relay system to overcome this range issue. Escorts would arrive at a predetermined waypoint along the bomber route to relieve the previous leg escort. They would stay with the formations for 150 to 200 miles. This occurred every hour or so. This chart describes the escort support during the March 8th mission. The columns represent the fighter group number, type of escort plane, leg of escort protection, number of escorts, escort losses, and claims against enemy aircraft. At the target area, bombers were escorted by 3 groups, the 4th, 354th, and 357th for a total of 102 Mustangs. In the target area, P-51s destroyed 24 enemy fighters for a loss of 2 Mustangs. This page outlines the fighter support, including the relay leg number of groups, type of fighter escort, location of relay exchanged in latitude and longitude, and time of escort relief from 0 hour. I tried to take an accurate Mustang count at the target area by freeze frame counting. I counted 340 P-51s attacking over the target. That's more than twice the number of operational P-51s the entire 8th Air Forces had available in March of 1944. The series may want to replace the inaccurate dialogue,
escorted by the Mustangs for the entire mission,
with escorts comprised of P-47s, P-38s, and P-51s operating in relays where 102 Mustangs were on duty during the target leg. Also, don't embellish the volume of P-51s attacking German aircraft. Show the correct number of 102 escort Mustangs in the target leg. Fighter escorts would never fly this close to bomber formations. It would be suicide. You may have seen World War II images like this where P-51s fly in close proximity to B-29s. These Mustangs are not flying bomber escort. The 7th Fighter Command P-51s are flying with a B-29 navigational escort mothership on their way to or from Japan from their base in Iwo Jima. The location of the escorts relative to the formations is discussed on this page from a 1955 U.S. Air Force historical study document titled Development of the Long-Range Escort Fighter. The escorts flew above and along the sides of the formations. This prevented the German bomber interceptors from attacking the formation without engaging the escorts first. This graphic shows the location of the escorts along the sides of the formation. The bomber formations are shaded here. The escorts are flying on both sides of the formations in a racetrack pattern. The low section is flying 500 to 1,000 feet above the formation, and the high section is flying 1,000 to 1,500 feet above the formation. They flew outside the range of bomber gunners. They maintained a distance no closer than 1,200 yards from the formation. This image shows a high-cover formation where the fighters flew their weaving squadrons from 1,000 to 3,000 feet above the bombers. This image from a 1945 Assistant Chief of Air Staff Intelligence report titled Impact shows the contrails of the high-cover Mustang escorts. Another view of the high-cover escorts. The contrails aid in relay rendezvous as the bombers are visible for up to 30 miles. Another high-cover escort image. Flying close to or inside the formations is suicide, as discussed on this page from an Appendix K, 1945, Intelligence Office 66 Fighter Wing document titled A History of the 8th U.S. AAF Fighter Command. A big issue was escort recognition by bomber gunners. Bomber gunners could not take a chance. The rule of thumb in the European theater is that bomber gunners will fire upon any fighter that points its nose towards the formation, if within range. In summary, the P-51 excelled in the role as a long-range fighter escort. Escorts were relayed at specific route rendezvous points, and on the March 8, 1944, relay contributions were from P-47s, P-38s, and P-51s, not just P-51s. Escorts flew well outside of the formations for the safety of the escort. This was not reflected in the episode. The number of escorts at the target location well exceeded the 102 that were assigned during the mission. I would have thought any one of the series' 16 military advisors and historical consultants would have addressed the accuracy of these items during the film's continuity meetings. If you've enjoyed these Masters of the Air deep dive clip reviews and found it worthy of your time, please consider engaging by liking and/or commenting.